I am Patricia Lizarraga, the founder and chief investment officer of the Hypatia Women CEO Index and the WCEO ETF. It is the only public fund in the world that invests exclusively in U.S. publicly traded companies with female CEOs. We launched in 2023 with a very simple investment thesis. Women CEOs will outperform. Why will they outperform? It's harder for them to get to the top. Whether it's more obstacles or lack of role models, the women who make it to the CEO spot are by definition extraordinary within the CEO cohort. And the WCEO delivers that performance. And through our 158 companies, it delivers a diversification factor that traditional analysis ignores. Women at the top. The data also confirms our hypothesis, which is that women CEOs accelerate the talent pipeline for future leadership of women. Simply put, the WCEO aligns performance and impact. But we lead with performance. The question we get most often is, do women CEOs actually outperform? And the data is unequivocal. When adjusted for size and industry, companies led by women CEO outperform their closest benchmark, which is the S&P 600, which is over 90% men CEOs. As of September 30th, year to date, the WCEO outperforms the S&P 600 by 350 basis points. And since inception, go women, and since inception, it outperforms by over 50 basis points a year, and this is after fees. Obviously, past performance is no guarantee of future performance, but our index was built on studies you've probably already seen, like Catalyst, Lean In, McKinsey, S&P Global, BlackRock. And what we do is we add the ability to actually measure the CEO female factor. So how do we do it? The first is we include all women CEOs, all companies with women CEOs that have a $500 million market cap and above. Second, we equally weight every company, large and small, so we eliminate size as a factor. It turns out that in U.S. public markets, you do not get to a female CEO until you reach company number 25 by market cap. And thirdly, we adjust for industry. As you can probably imagine, there's more women in consumer and healthcare and biotech companies than in tech or energy. So we adjust for that. And finally, because leadership changes, we rebalance the WCEO ETF monthly so that we add companies that are incorporating women and CEOs, and we sell stock that no longer fit in our index. But what the commonality in our portfolio is female leadership, and it outperforms. But we also invest for impact. Women CEOs accelerate the talent pipeline of women in leadership. Women lift as they lead. According to Morningstar, women CEOs have senior leadership teams that are 37% female versus men who have senior leaderships that are 24% female. But when you further adjust that figure for roles that are very, have a lot of women in them, and are staff positions like Chief Human Resources Officer or increasingly General Counsel, what you get is that women have 2 times as many women in senior leadership in CEO path roles like P&L responsibility, like Chief Operating Officer, Chief Financial Officer, than men do. Women accelerate the potential path of other women at 2 times the rate men do. And we believe that the WCEO can contribute to that acceleration of women CEO appointments. How? Well, currently we only have $5.6 million in assets under management. That's AUM. So we're still too small to be included in any of the wealth management platforms' recommended lists because of size. But as our assets increase, the visibility will increase. And as the visibility increases, so will the impact. The more boards and search executives that have access to this data that female CEOs outperform, the more likely it is that they will be included in CEO shortlists and ultimately get those positions. So in conclusion, the WCO aligns performance and progress. We capture a market inefficiency that is ignored, the female factor. So, if we agree that more women in leadership is a good thing and that 10% female CEOs is just not enough, I invite you to consider joining us in investing in women CEOs for performance and for progress. Thank you.